Hi guys, it's me, the Witch of Boise, here to do your weekly tarot forecast. Really exciting! Ooh! Before we begin, make sure you do like this video, hit subscribe, also comment below. Tell me if any of this resonates with you. I love to read your comments. And also make sure, again, you are subscribed to my channel. Click that notification bell. I did pull all of these cards plus the entire month of November in a previous video, so you can definitely check that out and see what the past weeks have been. And I do these weekly breakdowns every Sunday, so definitely check those out. We are going to be doing the week of November 15th through November 21st. So let's get started, shall we? So we have Sunday, the 15th, and that is going to be the Empress. So the Empress is all about the womanly energy. Whenever we think about it's like a superhero woman, you know, like just like she's a woman, like I have a really hard time expressing it. But it is like you are that quiet leader, that you are just badass. You have that feminine energy, which is really intuitive, really in touch with your feelings as well. And communications besides myself. That is just really, really clear. This is also having to do with nature, birthing and creating new ideas. And also this has to do with home life as well. So on Sunday, it is definitely making sure that you are catering to all of your creative ideas and anything that's going to give you that nurturing your soul and nurturing your just heart and everything like that. So really embody that Empress energy. This can also, like I said, have to do with home. So that you might be staying at home on Sunday and just really start to just do things around the house that expresses your love for and gratitude for your home. So really just embody that like beautiful Empress energy on Sunday. Then we have Monday, November 16th, and that is going to be the World. So this week we had two major arcanas. We had on Sunday the Empress, and then this one is the final one, the World. Now, just a little bit of backstory on the major arcana. The major arcana is a story, and it starts with the Fool, and it's the Fool's journey of learning lessons about everything, and it finally ends on the World as that all of the lessons have been learned and that cycle has completed. So there is a cycle that is completing on Monday, the 16th. And it's time to really go back and reflect on all of the lessons that we've learned. And I think a really good example is, let's just do a little rewind into what January was in January 2020. I know, at least for me, I was really excited for 2020. There was a lot of promise. There was a lot of promise, and then it just went somewhere else, you know, and that's how life is. This is just a once in a lifetime situation that we're in. But the thing is that if we look back as the person we were in January, we hopefully have grown into a better person. We are, at least for me, it's being more self-aware of people around me, being more respectful to people, also being patient. It's a lot. There's a lot of ignorance that I had at the beginning of 2020. And I have been enlightened for this year. And I just think that, at least for me, it's been a really, really big growing year. And I think a lot of other people can agree with that. So on Monday, it's really time to like really reflect on those lessons and reflect on the good lessons and the bad lessons. I don't like to call things failures, especially like if you failed, quote unquote. I like to call them as lessons in that sense, because that's a lesson of how not to do something, you know? And that's just how we need to treat things. And so, when you're reflecting on things that have happened in the past, and it doesn't necessarily mean this year, it can be something that has been more recent or even longer. It's viewing all of the things that are good, bad, the ugly, and how we've treated them, and what would we do different, because now we have learned these lessons and we have grown. Because the interesting thing about how the universe works is that A, nothing is a coincidence, and B, when you haven't learned a proper lesson on things, it's going to come up again. Like I'm just telling you, it's going to come up again, and it's not going to be it's going to be key, and it will keep coming up again until you've actually learned it. So if you start to think of your failures, quote unquote, or lessons, it's what can we do different? So then we can apply that when that does come up again, if it does, but for the most part it does, how would you do that differently? So really beautiful, like self-reflection, and just give yourself a pat on the back too on Monday, and just see how far you've really gone. When I was working at home, as a side note, I was listening to a podcast. I think it was actually before I really got into other podcasts. It was a Dr. Phil one, because it just intrigued me, because it was something about like self-improvement and things like that. And one of the things that really struck me was writing down the date. So when you're watching this right now, write down a date, put it on your fridge, put it in your car, your wallet, something like that, and just write down today's date. When you see it, look at it in a year and think about where you are as a person right now. And when you look back on that, you're going to be like, wow, I have really changed a lot of aspects of myself. And if you look back at that date and you feel like you haven't done anything, then it's time to really start to work on stuff that's going on. But anyways, definitely on Monday, the 16th, give yourself a big pat on the back for growing and learning those lessons and apply them to future. Okay, and so now we have Tuesday, November 17th, and we have the 8 of Swords. So 8 of Swords is it's really kind of interesting how this week has played off. And like I said before at the beginning of this video, that you can watch me actually pull all of these cards. This isn't cherry picking or anything like that. The cards, I got them out, and this is just how they landed. So it's just really interesting of this progressiveness of what's going on. So the 8 of Swords is a stuck moment, which happens a lot when you have this really great pivotal like realization of like, wow, I've come so far, but what do I do next? And it feels like on Tuesday, you're going to be in a little bit of a mind blockage. You're going to feel really stuck. Like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know. I've done all of this stuff, but how do I proceed forward? And all of this is in your mind. And it's time to really get that mindset to switch and say, hey, no, we're not going to do the self-sabotage and say, oh, well, I don't know, it's definitely getting your priorities straight and knowing that you aren't stuck. So if you feel like you're stuck at work or relationship, housing, that kind of thing, you might be temporarily stuck in some of those, but You're not. You can find the ways of moving past that and moving forward to something that is what you're wanting. So it's getting over that mental blockage of I can't do this, or I'm stuck here, or I don't know what to do and whatnot. Well, if that's what you're feeling, then we collectively need to figure out, what do you want in your life? What do you see yourself doing? What makes you happy? What can we do to get you into that? And so that's where we have to switch that mind shift. And that's what Wednesday, the 18th of November 2020 is all about. We have Two of Wands. Two of Wands is also like a stopping energy, just like this Eight of Swords. The stopping energy, though, is different because the Two of Wands has the idea, as depicted here, you have the world in your hands. You have all of these possibilities and you know it. And so this waiting energy is really deciphering, what avenue should I go to? So Wednesday, and this can start on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, I would suggest you start doing a pros and cons list, or you start writing out your feelings. What do you want out of your life? And that's a big question to ask yourself. And a lot of people do think in a more traditional sense. I know that because I live in a red state, and that's just, and it's a very popular ideal for people that once they hit a certain age, they get a career or a job, they want to start a family, they want a house, they want the American dream. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. That's just not my thing. But there's nothing wrong with wanting that. And if that's what you want, then you need to put out what you're looking for, what you want out of your life. You want kids? Then let's start figuring out what kind of avenue do you need to go to? Do you want to partner with these kids? Is that a high priority? If that is, then yeah, then we need to go and start dating, start getting yourself out there. If finding a partner is not as important as having a kid, and that can also be with time frame too. And I'm not a doctor by any means, and so don't take this like that. But like, they look at different avenues where you can maybe adopt, maybe go to a sperm bank or things like that, where if that's what you are wanting to do, it's really time to put the pen to paper and figure out what is important in your life that you are wanting out of your life. And then find the possibilities. Because the thing is that it might not be mapped how you want it to be. But again, once you have that priority list of what's important in your life, what do you want? And that should be your number one priority, and how to get to that should be what you're doing. And that's going to really manifest itself. And there's a definite mind shift from this kind of self-sabotaging Tuesday, like negative, I don't know, I'm stuck, blah, blah, blah. And it's really regaining your power back to saying, I can do whatever the heck I want to do. And I'm going to find that way because I have the possibilities of doing it. But again, make sure that if you haven't done it already, just make sure that you get those priorities, and then you can have kind of a guideline of what you need to do next. You've done this cycle. You've done this. Let's go on to the next thing. Let's build ourselves and become the best version of ourselves. And it doesn't mean that you have to overexert yourself or like be, it has to be like now kind of deal. But if you want something in your life, you need to get it. You need to. And this mind shift that's happening is a really, really great energy as the week progresses. So on Thursday, November 19th, we have the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands, when I get this in a reading, it reminds me of like the old school, like news bulletin, like breaking news, I just, and then you see like the words like come across. That's how my mind works with these cards. So something big is going to be, and this doesn't necessarily mean it's good, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but something is going to be coming into your life that is going to be really, really quick and kind of out of left field. And from what I'm kind of getting on this energy read is that mind shift that happened on Wednesday from that self-sabotaging kind of negative energy to that Two of Wands energy, you're opening yourself up for manifestations. So something big's gonna happen that's going to really shift your world in a sense. And it's gonna come really, really quick. And again, like out of left field. So expect the unexpected with that. But it's a very, very quick energy and it's coming towards you very, very quickly. All right. And so then we have Friday, the November 20th, 2020, and that's going to be the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful energy. That was Coda saying hi. This is all about being in your oneness. Whenever I see the Nine of Pentacles, I think of the Empress, and it's kind of the same energy, but it is like embodiment of like, I don't need anyone else. I am self-sufficient. And it's like, I don't need a man. Like I can pay my bills. I don't need you. And you are like in this really great financial spot. You're feeling your oats, like you are just in a really, really great headspace. People are going to start to notice this as well because you are emanating this like prosperous like energy of just like anything that I want, I can get. And that is this beautiful energy. And it definitely is that like, I don't need anyone. And it's not in like a narcissistic, like a-hole way, but it's not like I'm begging for someone to get me out of this, or I'm begging for someone to help me because I'm helpless and whatnot. No, this is all about strength and your strength in your oneness, and that I don't need someone else to fulfill me because I can fulfill myself. And this is just one of my real like top cards. Love it. Because it's like a silent strength in that sense, and just being a total badass and like, I don't need you. Like sassiness, and it's just a really, really great energy. And it is that like mind switch. It's the power of getting yourself into a positive headspace. All right, so now we're ending on Saturday, November 21st, and that's Three of Wands. This is another waiting energy. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening in that sense of that maybe your manifestations that you are wanting that's going to be happening into your life is going to be coming to you. But it is a waiting period. This is not something that's going to come after night. It's not going to come overnight. What? Okay. The Three of Wands, though, is a definite waiting energy. So it's making sure that you aren't expecting it. If you're trying to manifest things, you never want to just expect it to happen. You have to know that it's going to happen eventually. So it's just that waiting energy and just continuing being positive. There might be something that will test you in that manifestations of maybe that Eight of Swords might be bleeding into it, where you might be getting some negative thoughts, but just hold off on those and be like, you know what? When it comes, I'm going to know it comes, and it's going to be big. It's going to be exactly what I wanted. All right, guys, that is it for that week. Make sure you do like this video, hit subscribe, also comment below. Tell me if any of this resonates with you, and make sure you click that notification bell. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye.